Hey there, and welcome back to Event Trends by Eventify. My name is Kevin Rosenquist, and today we are getting into something that comes up in almost every conversation we have with event organizers: app adoption. Specifically, why most events top out somewhere between 35 and 45%, and why a small group of events consistently hits 85, 90, even 95%. Now, at Eventify, we've been deep in the data on this for a while. We work with organizers across the world: conferences, trade shows, pharma events, developer summits. And for years, we kept seeing the same pattern. Organizers would come to us frustrated. We promoted it everywhere. We sent reminders. We made graphics. Why aren't people downloading? And the honest answer? The problem usually isn't the promotion. It's the architecture. So today, I want to walk you through 6 tactics that actually move the needle, stuff that's been proven across real events. And I'll also tell you about one tactic we thought would work brilliantly that absolutely did not, because that story is worth hearing. So let's get into it. Before the tactics, I want to name the real issue. And this is something we say to clients a lot, even though it's a little uncomfortable to hear. Your attendees don't download the app because they don't need to. Think about it from their perspective. The agenda's on your website. Speaker bios? Google. Where's room 3B? They'll ask someone. The app is a convenience. And here's the thing about convenience: it loses to inertia every single time. Nobody wants to download yet another app for a 2-day conference. The events that crack 90% aren't winning on convenience. They're creating dependency. The app isn't a nice to have. It's the way the event works. That's the mindset shift. Now here's how you actually build that. Starting at number 1, and this is probably the most straightforward, but it took the industry way too long to figure out: merge registration with the app. Or more specifically, make the ticket only accessible through the app. We worked with a medical association in Singapore, about 2,400 people. They'd spent serious money on a custom app the year before. Adoption was 51%. Their board was threatening to cut the budget entirely. The suggestion we made sounded drastic at the time. Don't send email confirmations with a PDF ticket. Don't offer a print at home option. The QR code they need to get into the venue, it only lives in the app. Their team pushed back. What about people without smartphones? What about accessibility? These are valid concerns, of course, and you should plan for them. They set up 5 tablets at the registration desk as a backup. Out of 2,400 people, 11 actually needed them. Adoption went to 94%. The mistake we see consistently is organizers making the website registration process buttery smooth, sending beautiful PDF tickets, and then adding a footer that says, "Also, download our app for updates." You've already solved their problem. There's no reason to download anything. If you want to try this, the ticket in-app only approach needs to be tested thoroughly. What happens if someone deletes the app and needs to re-download? Does the QR code work offline? And have your support team prepped with FAQs, and have that backup option: tablets, a printed list, something for genuine edge cases. Tactic 2, and this one surprised us when we saw it in the data: events that start sending app download reminders 4 weeks out actually get worse adoption than events that go silent and wait until the 2-week mark. We ran the analysis multiple times. It's real. And when you think about it, it makes sense. 4 weeks before an event, most people aren't in event mode yet. Your email becomes clutter. Then you send another at 3 weeks, 2 weeks, 1 week. By the time it actually matters, you've trained them to actually ignore your messaging. What works instead is what we call an activation moment. At exactly the 2-week mark, you send one email. But it's not, "Hey, download the app." It's, "Here's something you can do right now, and you need the app to do it." We saw a trade show in Dubai, about 3,500 attendees, nail this perfectly. The subject line was, "Your booth assignments are live. First come seating for keynotes." The email said meeting slots were already filling up. Premium session seats were limited, and you could see who else from your company was attending. The CTA was to download the app and act now. They had a 72-hour deadline on the meeting booking. Adoption hit 89% within 48 hours. 3 things made this work: real urgency, personalization, and something to actually do, not just something to prepare for later. One important note though: the scarcity has to be real. If you say sessions are limited but they're actually open to everyone, people will call you out. You'll lose their trust fast. Okay, tactic 3. I'll be upfront. This one is a little sneaky, but the results are hard to ignore. You know how hotel Wi-Fi works? You connect, a portal pops up, you accept the terms. Some events have started redirecting that portal to the app download page. Connect to the venue Wi-Fi, and the page that loads says, download the app to get the Wi-Fi password. After you download and log in, the credentials appear automatically. It works because people need Wi-Fi more than they dislike downloading apps. You're not forcing anything. You're just making the path of least resistance go through your app. A healthcare conference in Mumbai tried this last year. They were genuinely nervous about the reaction. Adoption went from 61% to 93%. And the most common feedback was that it was clever. You do need venue IT cooperation to pull this off, which isn't always easy. You need a separate staff network that bypasses the portal. And you need an escape hatch. We recommend having the Wi-Fi password available at the registration desk on request, just not advertised on signage. Budget somewhere between $500 and $2,000 depending on venue complexity. But for the adoption lift you get, it's almost always worth it. All right, now before we get to the rest, I want to tell you about something that failed spectacularly, because I think this is actually as useful as the stuff that works. So a few years back, we helped run a test at a tech conference in Bangalore. The concept? Attendees who downloaded the app got a green badge lanyard. Non-downloaders got a red one. The theory was solid. Visible social proof, a little FOMO, drives adoption. So day one, morning, about 40% green lanyards. Some people noticed and downloaded the app to switch. So far, so good. Day one, afternoon, someone tweeted, "Why am I being color-coded for not downloading an app? This is manipulative UX design." Day one, evening, the tweet went viral. The conference organizer got roasted in the replies. By day two, they'd pulled the lanyards entirely. Final adoption? 47%, lower than if they'd done nothing. So here's what we learned. Social proof works when it's aspirational. A leaderboard showing who's connecting and networking, that's aspirational. Color coding people who didn't download your app, that's more like public shaming. The punishment signal was way louder than the reward signal. And at a tech conference especially, that audience is hyper aware of manipulative design patterns. I'm telling you this because everyone loves to talk about wins, but this failure taught us more about audience psychology than most of our successes. Tactic 4, my favorite, gamification. And I want to be clear because most event gamification is kind of terrible. Visit 10 booths and win a prize. Okay, but I'm here to actually meet clients, not collect stamps. Earn points for scanning QR codes. Cool. What do I do with the points? The gamification that actually drives adoption isn't about points. It's about status. A developer conference in Berlin with around 1,800 people put live leaderboards in the main hallway. Large screens updated every 30 minutes. The metric on the leaderboard? Meetings booked through the app. That's it. No prizes, no badges, just a public display of who was actively networking. Within 6 hours, people were booking meetings specifically to get on the board. Adoption climbed to 87% by day 2. So why did it work? Because at a professional conference, being seen as well-connected has real value. It wasn't a game. It was social proof. If you go this route, keep the scoring simple. Complete your profile gets you points. Check into sessions. Book meetings. That should be your highest value action. And set the threshold for prizes low enough that normal attendees can hit it with genuine engagement. If only power users can reach it, you'll get 50 participants instead of 500. The things you should never gamify: surveys, mandatory sponsor videos, spam your LinkedIn prompts. Gamify things people actually want to do but might need a nudge to start. Now, this one isn't for every event, but when conditions are right, it's probably the most powerful tool on this list. Tactic 5. The idea is to design the physical environment so that navigating the event without the app is genuinely difficult. We saw this executed really well at a conference in Kuala Lumpur. Multi-building venue, over 4,000 attendees. Session room signs showed only the room number, no session title, no speaker name, no time. To know what was happening in room 3A, you had to open the app. Every attendee badge had a QR code that deep linked to their personal schedule. Every hallway had QR codes to the venue map. So the app wasn't optional. It was the interface to the event. Adoption? 91%. Was it a little frustrating at first? For some people, yeah. But by day 2, it was just how the event worked and people adapted fast. Where this makes sense is in large multi-track conferences, complex venues, tech-savvy audiences or annual events where people already expect an app. Where it doesn't work as well is smaller events, single-track formats, older demographics, first-timers who might get overwhelmed. All right, so we're at the last one, and honestly, this might be the most underutilized tactic on the list. Here's something that sounds counterintuitive. Event organizers are actually pretty bad at promoting the event app. You're already sending emails about hotel blocks, parking, dietary restrictions, schedule updates. The app download request is just one more thing in a wall of logistics. It gets ignored. Sponsors and speakers, on the other hand, have actual influence with your attendees. So make the app essential to their success. One pharma conference, about 2,000 attendees, sent an email to sponsors 3 weeks before the event. Subject line, your lead retrieval instructions, action required. The email explained clearly, attendee contact info only flows to your CRM when they scan your booth through the app. If an attendee doesn't have the app, you cannot capture their lead. Every sponsor booth then became an app evangelism station. Staff were literally walking up to attendees saying, do you have the app yet? Let me help you download it. It only takes 30 seconds. The same principle applies to speakers. If the session Q&A only runs through the app, like submit your questions and vote on what you want me to answer in the last 15 minutes, then now every speaker is independently promoting the app as part of their session experience. You turn dozens of sponsors and speakers into an organic distribution network, all motivated by their own success. All right, so let's recap. 6 tactics that actually work. Gating ticket access, the 2-week activation window, the Wi-Fi play, status-based gamification, building physical dependency into the venue, and activating your sponsors and speakers as app marketers. And the one tactic that absolutely bombed, colored lanyards. Don't do that. The through line connecting all of this is that it's not a marketing problem. It's a design problem. If your event functions perfectly fine without the app, adoption will stall. If the app is genuinely the nervous system, the thing that makes the event work, adoption becomes almost automatic. We've built a lot of the infrastructure for these tactics directly into Eventify. The registration flows, the lead retrieval portals, the gamification engine, the meeting booking system. If you want to see how it all fits together, there's a link to book a demo in the description. Thanks for listening to Event Trends by Eventify. I'm Kevin Rosenquist, and I'll see you next time.